Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your one and only CeeFashion Academy. This is the continuation of the last video which I posted, that is how to cut a female short, that is pants. Please, I want you to make sure you watch to the end, because this part is I'm going to teach you everything. I'm going to teach you how to couple it, how to sew it carefully. I'm going to teach you how to sew the pocket, the flap and everything. So make sure you watch to the end. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you give us a thumbs up if you actually like this video. If you love this video, give us a thumbs up. Thanks, and may God bless you. So we'll be cutting out our material. Now this is the pieces I'll be using. Now the length, if your waist, whatever your waist is, you can add like 10 inches extra to it. Do you understand? Whatever your round waist is, if your round waist is 27, you can add 10 inches to it. You can cut out what, 37. Do you understand? This is for you to be at the safer side. So as you proceed, you get to know how many inches really, that's maximum if you really need to add. But since this is something I'm teaching lots of people, and for you not to make mistake at the end of the day trying to be joining, do you understand? Add extra 10 inches to it. So that is how we got the length. So now talking about the thickness. Now band can be, see, after you finish making your trouser, your short, the band, while you're looking at it, the band used to be what, from 1.5 to what, 2 inches. Do you understand? So for the sake of this tutorial, as I'll be cutting with what, just only what, 2 inches. So I have to mark the 2 inches down. So after I finish marking it out, I'm going to be cutting it out. Then after I finish doing that, I'm going to be gumming it with my what, interfacing. Then after that, I will prepare it, which is what we are going to see. So now, as you can see, I'm done gumming it out. So next thing I'll be doing, just simple, is what, I'll be folding ½ inch here. Are you seeing it? Fold ½ inch from one side. So you can see I'm preparing the band. Fold ½ inch from one side. Please make sure you are precise. So as you can see, we are done folding it out. So what you are going to be doing now is, we are going to fold again. Now as you are folding now, make sure as you are folding it, you're only remaining what? 1/4 inch on this very side. Not ½ inch, please. 1/4 inch. Quarter. Iron it out till you finish folding. So you can see 1/4 inch. Now while sewing, you are going to be sewing with what? Not the quarter, half, such that when you finish sewing, this one will not have to do what? Overlap. You understand better, you see it when I be doing it. Please, as immediately you are done doing this, next thing you need to do is to make sure you cross check, making sure that everything is what? Equal. Are you seeing it? My folding, the allowance coming out is what? Equal. Else your band is not going to come out very well. So guys, as you can see, I've actually weaved and I've actually overlocked all these things. As you can see, I did overlocking on the back complete. Are you seeing it? Okay, so this particular front, you can actually do complete. But whenever you are putting lining on your trouser on your short, you should not do complete. You can only just do it here, just so as to work on here. So after you finish putting your pocket, do you understand, and your lining, you can as well do what? Now finish the what? Overlocking. So next thing we are going to be doing, I'm going to be fitting this zip now. Are you seeing it? Okay, so now look at it. This part is very, very crucial. It's very, very important. Now look at it. If I open it up like this, now as you can see, the shirt for a male has the part that overlaps each other, while the shirt for a female has the part that overlaps each other. Please, the same thing is applicable to the what? The zip. The zip, just check your zip very well. For female, it is the right that overlaps the left. Do you understand? Then for male, it is the left that overlaps the right. The same thing is applicable to this thing now. So what am I trying to say? Now look at it. In essence, this female owner, it is the right that is going to overlap the what? Left. So now since it's the right that is going to overlap the left, you can see this zip. There's a method now we'll be fixing this thing. We have this thing too. Two of these. So this one is going to go together with this one on one part, while this one is going to go on the other part. Now only this one is going to go on the part that is going to overlap. Only this one. Do you understand? It's going to go on the part that is overlap. That is the what? The right for female. If it is for male, this one, only this one is going to go on the left. Anyone that is overlapping has only this one. Then the one that is being overlapped has this one and the what? The zip. Which after we now do what? Connect both of them together to form the what? Zipper flyer. Now let's do it. So look at it now. This is the right share. Okay. Is this one that is going to overlap. So we are going to be sewing here. 1/4 inch or even 1/8. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be much before you finish taking your allowance. So we are going to be stopping. You can remember on our what? 6 inches. 6 inches that we use. Okay. So let's sew. Please make sure you place it equal. Okay, as you can see, we are done, and we actually stopped on the what? 6 inches. Are you seeing it? So now, since we are done, next thing I want you to do is what? Please take your scissors. On that 6 inches, make sure you do what? Notch a little. Just notch. Notch. You mustn't go inside too much. Just notch. Okay, as you can see, now I'm done notching. Next thing I'll be doing is what? I'll be turning it out like this. Now when I turn it out like this, see the advantage of the notch. Are you seeing it? It's making this one to come in front. Are you seeing it? To come in front. So next thing I'll be doing is what? Please don't over notch. Please don't over notch. I'll be doing what? Top stitching on this very part. Are you seeing it? So as to make sure that this thing actually holds this very, very well. Now also make sure you stop at that same what? 6 inches. Now since we are done with this particular one, we are going to be working on the second part, which has the what? The zip and the what? This piece together. We'll still be making use of the what? The 6 inches. So now, but first of all, to make it easier for us, I'm going to be connecting this one first. So how do we do it? Now look at it. Are you seeing it? We're going to be sewing this one out. Please, as we are sewing it out, okay, so please, as you're sewing it out, are you seeing this metallic part? Please make sure it is not exactly at that same 6 inches, because when you be locking up your zipper flyer, it's going to be hitting this metal part. So in other words, push it backwards. Are you seeing it? Push it beyond that, and also make sure this one is not hitting on this very part, so as to make it easier for you when you are sewing. Okay, in other words, so now let's sew. You are still going to be sewing with that same what? 1/4 inch on this particular part. If I really want, I can make my stitching to be very much closer to the what? To zip. Are you seeing it? Now I want to tell you something. However you do it, it is very much okay. Now if you make it to be very closer, it is very much okay. I can still do it as I'm talking to you now. Or you can still leave it like this, because some people believe that when they leave it like this, it kind of allows their zip not to spoil, like it doesn't spoil so easily. But when it's very close, when you're opening your zip, it might mistakenly enter one of the like this part of the cloth might enter in your zip, thereby doing was spoiling it. So in other words, so let's leave it like that. Share. Okay. So next thing I'll be doing is what? I'll now be taking this one. Remember I say this thing I'm doing it to make it easier for us. If not, I can sew 2 of them at the same time. You understand? So I will now be taking this one. I'll be sewing on top of this. Now look at it. Are you seeing it? Making sure that it is equal from here. I will now be sewing, following the what? The other stitch. Please make sure you stop at that what? 6 inches. Very, very important. So after you are done, you can still take your what? Scissors and notch a little bit. So now we are done. See, let me open it up. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now when you open it up, we are going to be doing what? We are going to be top stitching on this very part. Now look at it. So as you can see, we are done with this very part. Are you seeing it? Okay. So next thing we'll be doing now is what? We'll be joining both of them together. So in order to join both of them together, take the other side, place it like this. Are you seeing it? Take this side, place it like this. Are you seeing it? Both of them facing each other, front facing front. Okay, make sure both of them are equal. Then now look at this. This part is very, very important. Now you see, look, check your notch first of all, where your notch stopped. Are you seeing it? Now where we are going to be sewing now, we are going to be sewing from, see, See where this line ended. Are you seeing this stop stitching? So it is now after this point we are going to be sewing like this, but not on top of here, rather from here. Are you seeing it? We are going to be sewing like this. Now look at it. Please, as you are sewing, make sure you do what? Make sure your stitch doesn't touch any of this. Are you seeing it? Make sure it doesn't touch it at all. If not, it's not going to relax or balance very well. Now back stitch. Are you seeing it? Okay. Then you place this very well. Now, after we are done sewing, now let's open it and see what we have. As you can see, are you seeing it? See, look at that thing I told you. You sew it so that it will not be exactly on this point. You understand? So that it will be a bit more than. Are you seeing it? So that for you to be able to do what? Overlap and cover the what? The zip properly. Now look at it. It is covering the zip perfectly. Are you seeing it? Okay, let me repeat it again for you to really understand. When you place both of them together like this, look at it. At this point, 6 inches where we stopped, I'm going to go past it. I'm going to go above, like 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, because I'm not going to start from that 6 inches. Okay, that is where I'm going to start now, above it, 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, and I will back stitch. Now look at it. I did not enter inside. Are you seeing it? I did not enter where I stitch. See, I did not enter inside like this. I came out a little bit. Are you seeing it? And it is above the what? 6 inches. That's where I back stitch. Then from there, I now sew like this. Are you seeing it? I now connected the two. Are you seeing it? See, look at it from here. Are you seeing it? Down to here. And as you're sewing it, make sure that your stitch does not touch any of this. Are you seeing it? That is it. This part is one of the most important part. If you miss it, you've actually missed it. Like, if you can't get this part, other things is nothing. Like, you cannot really get it. You understand? You cannot really get it. So next thing we are going to be doing now is what? You are going to be taking your iron, to iron it out so as to give it a very better and nice shape. And make sure you place this thing very well. Are you seeing it? Place it very well. See, there's one mistake that we normally do. Sometimes some people will see it this way and they will leave it this way. At the end of the day, when they finish, they'll be like, okay, we'll see is no. Balance it. Balance it. See, are you seeing it? It's flat enough now. Very, very okay. Are you seeing it? Okay, balance it. Then iron. Make sure that everything is balanced. Iron. Then when you finish ironing, hold it firm. Are you seeing it? Hold it firm. Look at it. This part is very, very important. Hold it firm. Hold it firm. Are you seeing it? Why making female dress is not that easy to actually work with, to tell you the truth. It's not that too easy. So when you hold it firm, look at it. Go to your machine. First of all, there's something I normally like doing, especially when I'm making female own. I try to first of all hold this down part. It's very, very important for me. Because if I don't hold this down part, that place is not going to be settled like the way I showed you guys. You saw the way I showed you. It's not going to be settled. Now, I try to hold this down part very, very well. Because this is the most important part. Okay, now let me show you guys again. After I placed it, I asked you guys to do something to balance it. I asked you guys to balance it. So next thing you are going to be doing is what? You are going to proceed and finish your stitching. Now, let me show you guys something about this stitching. Some people make mistake on this stitching. As you are stitching it, however you want to do it, make sure that your stitching does not pass here. Now, as you place it like this now check where this thing is touching. Are you seeing where it's touching? Are you seeing it? So as you be sewing it, you'll be directing your stitch to this side. Are you seeing it? If you direct it to this side, your stitch to this side, see, it will overlap more. Are you seeing it? So you direct it to that side that you really see. See how I want it? I want it to be like this. So when I open it, are you seeing where my stitch? If you even have a chalk, you can even mark it. Are you seeing it? So now let's finish it up. Look at that thing I said now. Are you seeing it? This one. The place I marked is going to be going towards this side. Okay? Make sure you place it very well. You guys can see I use pin this side, yes, you can as well use pin. So as you can see, look at it very well. As you can see, we are done sewing. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now, but see the thing now, if you leave it like this, and when you wear to be like this, you understand? So to avoid it doing like this, we need to find a way and stitch around this side so that when you see, are you seeing, nothing will happen. So that's what we are going to be doing now. So in order for us to do it, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be, it has a shape already. Look at it. From here to here, you can measure 1 inch. Are you seeing it? From here to here, you can measure what? 1 inch. Now, are you seeing that 6 inches just around that part you stop your stitching? So from there, curve something like this to that your 1 inch. Do you understand? See, look at it. As you can see, this is what you normally see on trousers, and on shorts. Look at it. Are you seeing it? Please make your own to be very accurate. I don't think this my line is accurate. Are you seeing it? From here to here. So that's what you do. So first of all, now look at it. You can take your pin and hold it so as for it not to shake while sewing. Now for you to hold it, you don't hold both of them together. First of all, you start from this. Are you seeing? Place it. Still make sure that it is okay. Now place. I don't know. Whenever I'm making a male short or male trouser, it's easier, very easier for me to sew because that male own is on the better side of the hand. You know, when you are sewing, there is this better side of the hand. Okay, guys, are you seeing it? Okay, so after you are done now, see, we are going to be sewing through that line. See, expand it, open it. We are going to be sewing through this line. Now let's start. If you are sewing, please be very much careful so as to make sure that your hand goes straight and to make sure the material does not fold unnecessarily. You know, material does not have to fold. So that means as you are sewing, you should be applying one kind of pressure on it. You can also make your stitch length not be too tight, because the more tight your stitch length is, the more it folds the fabric. Do you understand? Okay. As you can see, I'm using my 2 hands just to hold it firm, so as for it not to shake. Okay. Now, let me show you something. There's something I normally do, since whenever I'm teaching students. I sew and I stop at a certain point. Now look at it. I sew and I stop at a certain point. I can carefully just remove it, just cut it out neatly. Are you seeing it? Immediately you finish, you just cut it off. Are you seeing it? Now look at what I mean. Are you seeing it? Immediately you cut it off, you stopped here. So all you need to do is to do what? Fold it back again. Are you seeing it? So that now we'll be sewing on top of the 2. Are you seeing it? So place it back. So carefully start back from where you stopped. Now this time around, go like, you understand, like you don't start exactly from where you stop. You need to go above, so as to make sure that as you're coming down, you kind of back stitching, like tacking it. Now look at it. Sometimes we see this thing on our dress, like our ready to wear dress and the rest, but we don't really know the meaning. Now look at it. Please, you can as well find a way to do what? Tack it. So now, next thing we are going to be doing is what? We are going to be following the shape. Are you seeing it? Neatly done. So you do what? Carefully cut out. So as you can see, looking from the back, the essence of doing it like this is to make sure that it holds this one. Do you understand? So this is how our zipper flyer is supposed to be. Okay guys, now look at this. This is our pocket. Are you seeing it? Now we are going to be placing it on this one. We are going to be sewing it. So I will be using a particular method. I don't know, I've asked of different methods, but let me just make use of this method. It's simple, sure. So now look at it. Since the pocket length is going to be what? 7 inches. Do you understand? So for me personally, I'm not going to be used, for the sake of this class, I'm not going to use 7 inches exactly. Do you understand? I can use what? Up to what? 8 inches. That I only added what? 1 to it. I use what? 8. Now at this point, now look at this. I'm going to be making out this curve. Now you seeing it? As usual. Are you seeing it? Now, so for those that will ask me, how did you get this curve? My dear, you can get this curve by just from here 2 inches to 2.5. Are you seeing it? See, look at it. 2 inches to 2.5. Are you seeing it? then you do what? Curve it out. So that's what I'll be cutting out now. Like I said, this curve is not that highly necessary. Okay, guys, as you can see, I am done. So I'm going to look for a way to do what? Okay, I'll be fixing it on this now. Now let's start. Okay, the first step you are going to take is what? Now look at it. I want to show you something. After we finish fixing it, this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be from here. After we finish fixing it, this is how it's going to be. So in that case, now look at it. Why I say this might be very simple for you guys is now look at it. From here, are you seeing it? Just let this one be, and you can open up this one like this. Are you seeing it? Now look at it. It's not hard. Are you seeing it? Now look at. Let me close it back again. Are you seeing it? Like this. Open this one out, making sure that this one is actually relaxing to this one. Then you have to do what? Place it very well. Now make sure you place it out very well. Now let's place it. This one is supposed to be up to what? Where this one ended on top. Then this one is supposed to be equal to the hip. Look at it. Here is equal to the hip. Here is equal to the top part. It must be equal. Are you seeing it? It's perfectly placed now. So all we can do is what? Take our pin and do what? Hold it. Please look at it. If it is shorts we are making, and most cases so many people don't do what? They don't shape out they don't cover the waist of the male short or trouser. Do you understand? Now because we curve out the female trouser, that's why you're seeing this extra one here. Are you seeing it? Assuming it's straight, you're not going to be seeing anything here. Okay, you guys should know that. It's very, very important. Okay, so after placing it, please, whatever we do on this is exactly the same thing you're going to do on the other one. So let's not waste much of our time. Look at it. From here to here, mark out what? Half inch for seam allowance. From here, remember this is from here to here is the 7. So mark out. Then from here to here is the what? 2 inches. Are you seeing it? So next thing I'll be doing now, I'll be joining. Okay, now look at it. We are going to be joining it. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now after we are done joining it, now see what we are going to be doing. We are going to be sewing. We are going to be sewing. Okay, so let's sew. Now as you're sewing, don't sew exactly on this line that you just marked, because this line is where you are going to fold. It is not where you are going to sew. This sewing we are doing is just to hold it firm, so as to enable us continue our work with the pocket. So now sew beside it. It can be just 1/4 inch after that line. Okay, tag. Now after you are done, see what you are going to be doing. Make sure you extend your notch to that 1/2 inch. Do you understand? Extend it to that 1/2 inch where this line ended. Extend the notch. Now next thing we are going to be doing is what? Now look at it. You see this extra you are seeing here? We are going to be doing what? Removing it. Now after we are done removing it, let me show you another magic. Place this thing like this. Remove the pins which you held this thing with. Remove the pins. Are you seeing it? Now, I'm coming. First of all, fold according to the what? The line which you marked. Are you seeing it? See. Fold according to the line which you marked. You can use the what? Iron to do what? Iron it out. Then we are now going to sew on top. That is the normal top stitch you normally see on what? Trouser or short pocket. Now look at it. This whatever you do on this sleeve is exactly what you do on the other sleeve. No, sleeve. On the other pocket, please. Not sleeve. The whole world know that my place people they are alive.
They are real.
They are real. So after you are done, as you can see, it's already forming. After you are done, what next are you going to do? Now look at it. Open it up like this. Are you seeing it? You're going to be sewing this one on top of here. And you're going to be doing what? Folding it out. Now let's do that. Okay. Please make sure you fold it out very well. Make sure you relax it. Are you seeing it? Fold it out then and do what? So. Please, if you are making use of lining for your pocket, as you can see, we are making use of the material for my pocket. So that's why it's very much easier. But if you're making use of lining for your pocket, please, there's something I need to do. That means this material is ordinary plain material. I don't want it to show when you finish. Okay, let me show you guys something. Let me show you. Now we are done. Now see, let me show you something. Now we are done. Place it. When you place it equally, please remember this is your line. You have to be working with your line. That's why I said everything you do must be what? Precise. Okay. Are you seeing it? It's well placed now. So now let's turn it. And we are going to notice something. You're noticing this one coming out here. Share? Okay. Now this one is coming with even the extra allowance which we shaped out. We are still going to make this one exactly what? 2 inches. And cut off the what? Excess. Now what I was telling us was, now look at this one. It's because we use the material. That's why we are seeing the reflection of this other material here. Assuming you use a plain material, what are you going to do so that the plain material will not show here? Just take another pieces that is longer than this 7 inches. Do you understand? Like a pieces that is 3 inches by what? 8 inches. Take it and cover here. Are you seeing it? Other place can be plain. So after you finish covering it, now at the end of the day, when you do it like this, you notice that that material will be showing here. That is how we work whenever we are using lining. Please, that is just it. So next thing we are going to be doing now is what? Now look at it. We're almost done. We are going to be closing here. Some people can weave it out and close. Do you understand? But let me just use this method of notch out here first. This method is a method we finish very well, but at the end of the day, we don't even weave. You can use it and finish, and you won't weave at the same time. So now look at it. Sew from the inside. You see what I'm just doing? Now look at it again. Are you seeing it? Turn it the other way. That is, we are sewing from the what? Inside. Okay. Sew from the inside, 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, whatever you want to use. Okay. There are many ways that people actually end here, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to make use of this method such that, look at it, I will still end like this. Are you seeing it? According to the shape. So after you are done, next thing you are going to do is what? Turn it out again. When you turn it out, you can use your what? Scissors to do what? Bring out all this place. Okay. So after you are done, we are going to be doing what? Top stitching on top of here. You guys know that there are things that I will teach. I will already know that you guys can do the practical parts, but for me this is not the one that you can do the practical part. This one is direct practical. Okay. So as you guys can see, now look at the back. Are you seeing it? Neatly finished. Well finished from here. Are you seeing it? Very neat. So now place it back again very well. You'll notice that we are done, but not 100% done. So make sure you relax it very well. You can also be working with your what? With your pin and what? Iron. Okay. So after you are done, see next thing you are going to be doing. You see on top of here, you are going to be what? Holding it with a stitch. Are you seeing it? Okay. So after you are done, next thing you are going to be doing is what? You are going to be cutting it out. The excess. Okay. After you are done cutting it out, please also remember here, you are still going to do what? Hold it with a what? A stitch. It is very, very much important you do that. Okay, so the final thing we have to do on the side pocket is to trim out the excess. Remember our distance was what? 2 inches. Yeah? Okay, so remark your what? 2 inches and then trim it out. Look at it. Look at it. Remark it and do what? Trim it out. So as you can see, look at it, the pocket is well done. Are you seeing it? perfectly done. So use this same method of what you did here to also repeat it on this other side. Do you understand? Okay, as you can see, this is the dart area. So I'm going to be locking up the dart. So in order to lock it up, so all you need to do is what? Fold it like this. Then sew with what? Half inch. I don't know how my hand is going to take. So as you can see, we are done. So we're still going to do the same thing on this very one. So as you can see now, look at it very well. What we are going to be now, we are going to be connecting, we are going to be coupling. Now, in order for you to couple, so many people make mistake. The first couple here, the back side. Are you seeing it? You don't do that actually. You couple the two sides first. Are you seeing it? Couple with what? Half inch on both sides. Okay. Okay, now I want you to see it now. Now look at it. The waist is what? 28. Now divide 28 by what? 2. 2. Why are we dividing by 2? As you can see, we finished coupling the both sides. This is now folded into what? 2. That's why we are dividing it by 2. 28 divided by 2 is what? 14. Are you seeing it? 14. So now this part 14, that is where we'll be coupling from. Now look at it. From that 14, put your machine there, from there. So we are going to be sewing from there. Please don't back stitch because we are still going to be losing that side when we are fixing the band. Okay, now look at it. From there now look at it. This part is very important. From there now start sewing. Making sure you are going towards what? This part. You'll be ending with what? Half inch, please. Look at it. Are you seeing it? We've actually ended with half inch. We started from the original point, slanting towards here, ending with what? Half inch. Okay. So as you can see, we are done locking the what? The back part. Look at it here. Are you seeing it? Look at, you see the shape? The shape is exactly to what we actually did here. From here, slanting towards. Then at the end of the day, we ended with what? Half inch. Okay. So next thing we are going to be doing is what? We are going to be locking up this very side too. Look at it. But before you lock up this very side, please always check your tie. Whether it is what? Corresponding. Do you understand? Always check it. The tie is what? 22. 22 divided by 2 is what? 11. Now look at it very well. You see that with the method with the method I use, as you can see, I did not use up to like really half inch. And so that means we have 11. We still have allowance. Do you understand? I don't really want this short to be too tight because of the nature of the fabric. It's going to tear. So now I'll be sewing what? Half inch, my dear, all through towards this other side. But assuming you want to use the exact measurement, you can as well sew with your what? Exact measurement. From here to here, you measure out your base. Then that's how you do it. Look at what I mean. If your base, whatever your base is, what's the base? 19. Share? Okay. Now let me show you guys. If the base is 19, now look at it. Measure. 19 is what? 9.5. Are you seeing it's half that is remaining? Are you seeing it? So you mark it there. Then look at, go to the tie. Whatever that it is, you mark it, then connect from here to here. That's what I mean. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'll just be joining with what? Half inch. So guys, as you can see, the next thing we are going to do now is that we are going to do what? Iron it out. So as we are ironing, we are also going to use the same iron to fold out the what? The dark part. So now look at it. We're almost done with this. As you can see, even the shape, everything is coming out very fine, sexy. So that is it. So, but ordinarily, because see, let me show you something. While we are ironing it, as you can see that part. Are you seeing it? So you can actually fold it this way. Are you seeing it? And fold it again, and you do what? Sew. Okay. But for the sake of this particular tutorial, for me not to waste our time, I think I'm just going to fold this straight here now. You understand? So I'm going to do a very sweet folding. So now, because I'm just folding, now look at it. Let me just fold. method to also work on the other side. As you can see, we are done folding it out. Look at it here. So I'm still going to use the same method to fold out this. Please make sure that as you are folding it, you fold out with exactly the same thing you use on this very side. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm about cutting the one for the belt holder. Are you seeing it? So in order to cut for belt holder, cut out what? At least 2 inches. That is the way. Then the length should be very, very long, such that you even have what? Extra and excess. Or if you need a calculation for the length, always know that depending on how many belt holders you want to put. Let's say one belt holder, make it like maximum of 3.5 inches or 4 inches. Then times, do you understand? That is the length which you are actually going to fold. Okay, now in order to fold it, now look at it very well. Fold like this. Are you seeing it? There are different ways which we use to fold this, but this one is also a very simple method. Fold like this, and do what? Like this. Okay. You can also make it to be what? Tinier. With the belt holder rope. So next thing we are going to be doing is what? We are going to be cutting it out. We are going to be using at least 3.5 inches for one, at least. Then at max you can use like 4 inches. Do you understand? At least 3.5 inches. You can also use what? 4 inches. The same thing to male. Okay. Now I've gotten one. As you can see, this one is how many, sir? Okay, 3.5. Now I've got one, I'm going to use it and duplicate to get others. Look at it. So depending on the round waist, many people can put this thing in different areas. Do you understand? The bigger the waist, the more you expand the spacing. Do you understand? Or the more these particular belt holders. But for the sake of this particular tutorial, I would like you to know that you see at that point, do you understand? That is where we are going to be putting this our own now. Are you seeing it? From that point. Remember, see, look at the back one. Are you seeing it? Look at this one. All of them are here. So now that means I'll be using what? It's still at that same point. I can still detect it, do you understand? But for the sake of this tutorial, let me use the measurement and actually get it. So the measurement I'll be using is what? I'll be using 3.5. Are you seeing it? From the center here, from the center of the what? Zip, 3.5. So I'm still going to be doing the same thing here. From the center of the zip, 3.5. Okay. So after I'm done marking it out, see, look at what I'll be doing now. I'll be taking it like this. Look at it. I'll be placing it here. To make the work easier for you, use a pin and do what? Hold it. This is exactly what you do on other sides, other parts. Okay? Do the same thing here. Okay, so when you get to this point too, look at this one. Are you seeing at this part, this joining, at this joining, just put one here. Okay, so that is the same thing. You continue at the back part. Are you seeing it, the dart area? Are you seeing the dart point? Okay, that's where I'm going to be placing it. The same thing to the other side. Okay, so now in case you're making for somebody who is bigger, you know that this thing is not going to be working for everybody like that. See, look at it. If somebody is bigger, that means distance from here to here is going to be more. That's why sometimes you see some people put at the center. Do you understand? They just kind of change the location of this particular stuff. Okay, so since we are done, so we are going to be working with our what? Band. Are you seeing it? So let's work with our band. So we are going to be sewing. So all you need to do is to open up this side. As you can see, I did not cut off this excess. Are you seeing it? You don't cut it off till you finish locking it up with this band. Now let's do that. Look at it. So we are going to remember what is remaining here is what? Quarter. Now that thing I told you people that you people will see is that what? Since it's quarter that I'm not going to be sewing with quarter, because if I sew with quarter, it's not going to be overlapping. So I'm going to be sewing with what? Half, so that it will overlap with what? Quarter. That is what I'll be doing. Look at it now. I place it like this, and I will sew with what? Half. Half inch. So I'm going to be sewing this thing to this where center back. Center back. As you are sewing, be very careful. Also make sure that your this thing is straight. Your belt holder. Take it gently. Are you seeing this thing very well? No? Yeah. So now as you can see, I'm opening up this very part. Are you seeing it? Because I'm going to be sewing to the end part of this place. So much harms than good. When you want to adjust somebody's clothes and the material is nowhere to be found, what do you do? You start combining a different color of material. I think it's very dirty. I hate it. Very well. Unfortunately, some person know the no say there's some people hate. To not cost you anything, to not even delay you. So cut it out. Are you seeing it? Now continue your stitch from this other part. Are you seeing it? Continuous with the same allowance you've been using to sew. Nothing. See, there's nothing like patience. When you're patient enough while sewing, you will gain a lot. At the end of the day, the product will appear very, very neat. Please make sure that as you sew, you iron, please. Now, as you can see, now let me show you guys something. Now, are you seeing it? See how we do it. From here, you fold this one inside. Are you seeing it? Then fold this one. Are you seeing that this one is overlapping that one? Now look at it. It's overlapping with what? That same quarter inch I told us. Yes, that's how to do. But before you overlap anything, make sure you can now cut off this what? Extra zip. Now it's not going to affect you. But when you cut it out before, you might end up removing the head part of the zip, thereby spoiling everything. That will make it to start afresh. So next thing we'll be doing is what? Look at it. Fold it like this back, because we are going to be sewing from the inside. Fold like this. Using the notch as a guide. Now keep it and sew. So at the end of the day, you now have to cut off the excess. You can as well sew it in a way that it will not be straight, rather it will have this design. Do you understand? It's all your choice. That's just the major thing. If I want, I can still do it that way. So let's work on this one. Just the same way we actually worked on the other one. Same way I'm going to be sewing this way. Are you seeing it? Diagonally. It's just a design, nothing else. Look at it. I'm going to be cutting it off this way. So when I turn it, you will see the new shape. Are you seeing it?
No.
Are you seeing the new shape?
Yes.
Okay. So you can as well do the same thing at the back. Now there are two ways of coupling the back. If you're working generally for customers, I will even advise you not to use the official method. I advise you to just close here, then close everything out like this. Do you understand? So that whenever you want to adjust to the waist, then as well do that without wasting time. But the official way, I don't know which one should I use. Official. Okay, no wahala. I'll do that. All round to what? All the belt holders. Okay, so now we are done. There's something we'll be doing now. There's something we are going to be doing. First of all, trim off all the what? Excess. Okay, secondly, look at it. Hold this thing like this. Is the official method of closing here. Hold it like this. Are you seeing it? Okay. Then you are going to be sewing from this part. Okay, make sure the 2 points are actually joining equal. Are you seeing it? Then when you reach here, please let it be straight. Let it be straight. Let it not go towards this way. Straight. Okay. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? Straight. So now look at it. Nicely done. Are you seeing it? Okay. This thing now, these workplaces are equal. Okay. So next thing you are going to be doing is what? You are going to be opening it like this. Are you seeing it? So fold this one out like this, like a triangle. Are you seeing it? Fold this one out like this, like a triangle also. Are you seeing it? Then fold it up like this. Are you seeing it? Fold it out like this. So after you are done, as you can see, we are almost done. Next thing we are going to be doing is what? We are going to be sewing. But before we sew, I will show us the simplest way of doing it. Don't waste your time. Don't stress yourself. Make use of your what? Hemming gum. You can make use of it like this, full, like this, full. Put it under an iron. Do you understand? So as to be firm when you are sewing it. Or you can use half of it. It doesn't really matter. All we need is for this thing to be held together while sewing, so that as you are sewing, it's not going to be do what? Shift. So I'm going to my this thing now. I'm going to the table to use the hemming gum and gum this thing out. Do you understand? So now as you can see, are you seeing it? Put the hemming gum inside. This is what we are going to do all around. Make sure you hold it firm. Yes. So guys, this is the finishing part. So I'm going to be locking here. So please, you can lock here in 2 ways. You can actually lock here directly from the stitch line. Are you seeing it? From this seam. Or you can do the what? Top stitching kind of locking. Do you understand? Like 1/8 from the what stitch here. Okay, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using the latter, the shade. I'm going to be using the top stitching on top of this. Now let's do that. Are you seeing it that I'm top stitching from here? Okay, moment you reach, are you seeing it? This is where you start working with this one. See, just fold and then sew. Are you seeing it? Place it. You can top stitch here, then continue your stitch. Please be careful here so as to get a neat finishing. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Please, I want you guys to make sure you ask questions, make sure you comment in the comment section below, and also make sure you like this video. Please finally make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and may God bless you.